Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Philip Roybal. And please welcome our special guest into the show tonight, SEC Moe. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Welcome into the show, everybody. Timothy Green, Sooner Lemon, Steve B. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? SEC Moe, welcome into the show. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Glad to see you.
Good to be back, boys.
Absolutely.
Hey, we brought up some topics that you might give a shit about tonight, Coach. So even though we got the research in there and everything, I tell you, we've came up with a topic that you just might care about. So
all right, buddy. So tonight I will give a shit.
There we go, man. There we go. I was thinking about it earlier. I said, man, what else should we talk about? And I was like, it's got to be something that Coach will give a shit about. So here we are. Here we are. Glad to see everybody in the show, in there. Sign off and talk to us. Tell us that you're here, and give us some love. Make sure you hit that like button. Wipe your feet before you come in this house.
Absolutely. That's
right. So, fellas, a lot of stuff. We're going to go ahead and talk about a few different things. I feel like with this show, me and the coach, big Notre Dame fan, of course, me being an Oklahoma fan, both of them were in some similar situations, with their coaches being in their third seasons. Little bit of, I think that Freeman has definitely had improved on, a couple of things. I think that the coach Venables showed some improvement. They've both recruited very well. But they entered the season with different, I don't know if it's expectations, because I think both programs are programs that the standard is the standard, man. The standard is the standard, and the standard is to win. So I would say that, you kind of start looking at it in terms of what is the expectation coming into year 3 at both programs. I think when you start looking at some of these way too early top 25 lists, it tells you a little bit about that. Then you got to get into schedules and some of that other stuff. But I want to get into kind of start off. We'll talk about a little bit of Notre Dame, a little bit of Oklahoma, and kind of just compare, contrast, and see kind of what the expectations are. Because I got to say, I think the more that we kind of talk about it, I've been trying to temper expectations for OU fans, but I got to tell you, the more we start seeing some of this stuff, I don't think that that's going to really happen that much. I think there's a certain level you're going to be able to put up with as far as winning and losing is concerned. And then I think that again, standard is the standard. I know you're going into the SEC first year. There's going to be some learning, you're going to have to do some learning and, some bumpy road, headed into it, especially with the schedule,
man.
But, I think
there's going to be more than learning for OU coming into the SEC, but we'll see.
Yeah. And seeing that, and hey, as you guys see, we do have on the in there. I popped in a poll for who is under more pressure. Marcus Freeman. Sorry, Marcus Lemon. I was just saying Lemon, Sooner Lemon in there.
Marcus, if he doesn't perform this year, it'll be Lemon.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of getting it well, and I feel like it's kind of getting there with him as we were looking at that schedule a few minutes ago. But also I did want to, they did drop the Big 12 schedule today, and I was looking at the athletics way too early top 25, and I got some issues with it, man. So we'll jump into that a little bit as well. But Coach, let's talk about Notre Dame real quick. Let's talk about Notre Dame. This is a year 3 program. Marcus Freeman has shown that he can recruit a hell of a lot better than what we've seen. A lot of coaches recruit at Notre Dame over the years, and you've heard all that stuff about the academic, the excuses about not getting the right guys and not being able to compete. But it appears that he's competing on the recruiting trail. Now he's kind of seems like he's got to kind of put it together in some of these games that they keep kind of coming up short in, wouldn't you think?
Right, right. And I agree. I think he's, that was one of his big selling points when he came into the job is, we're going to go out and recruit some kids that can compete at this level because y'all know, we've used academics as an excuse for years and years. And me being a fan, I'm so damn tired of that excuse. I don't give a shit what your academic standards are. Come on, man. Let's get a football team on the field.
You're a blue blood, man. You're supposed to win, right?
That's right. I mean, like you said, expectations of the program, and but I've done some and recruiting. He has stepped up recruiting. I know that right now, just looking at some of the newest recruiting rankings, I think we've got 4 to 5-star players. That guys, that's been unheard of for Notre Dame in a couple decades. We always happen to get some good 4 stars and a ton of 3 stars, and that's all good. But you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and so you got to have some players, and so he has improved in that area, yes. And talking about year 3, guys. I mean, I went back and looked at just the entire history of Notre Dame football and coaches. And I'll tell you, since Newt Rockne, we've had 16 head coaches. And out of those, in year 3, only 6 of those guys finished at 700 or higher percentage-wise after 3 years. And of those guys, 4 of them won a national title, and 1 was in there as a runner-up, maybe 2 runner-ups, but 4 national titles out of those guys. And I mean, and obviously we know the names of those guys: Rockne, Leahy, Parsegian, Devine, and Holtz. So again, I think that the rest of the 10 coaches that I'm talking about, the highest percentage they had was a 583 percentage. And so what that tells me is, Marcus Freeman, you better have a pretty good winning percentage this year, because this is the year that's the telltale sign. And, we talk about year 3 all the time. It's a big year. But I especially believe that it's a big year for both of our programs for the head coaches. So, it's either shit or get off the pot right
now. Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, and I think starting off obviously you open the season at Texas A&M. That's a tough place to go and play. You going up against Mike Elko, and listen, I had a tough game at Duke last year, right? With him at the helm, and he's going to have some better players probably there. It depends. I mean, listen, you expect what you expect out of Texas A&M, and it ain't much coming from me. That being said, this is not Jimbo's team, so that's a tester, I think, right away, and especially anytime you got to go and play in Kyle Field. If you've never been there, it's a different world. It is a different world. That the place feels like it's about to come out from underneath you. The stadium actually waves. So it's wild, it's crazy. You get a little weirded out by the cult, but I think as far as the football is concerned, probably that's a signature right off the bat. You got a chance to have a signature win, don't you think?
Sure. I think that's definitely a great way to start the year. Like you said, tough game in Aggie land, but and they're going to have new staff, so I think we should win that game, but they'll definitely have some hosses on the field.
Right. Looking at the rest of the schedule, and I know you kind of brought this up, but the rest of this, I mean, Purdue, maybe they're going to be good again. I mean, I don't know. Miami of Ohio, Louisville, I like them. Jeff Braun.
Yeah.
You know, good football team. Of course, you get them at home. Stanford, trash. Uh, Georgia
Yeah.
Tech. Georgia Tech improved, but then you got Navy, Florida State. I think Florida State is going to be a really good test as well. You've got
agree.
BYU.
Yeah.
Some they hit the portal hard once again. You know, we'll find out if they're still humming along at that point. You might have a tough test on your hands, but really, this is a doable schedule. I have a hard time seeing more than a couple of losses. But as you see what Shawty's asking here, I still don't know what type of team Notre Dame is yet.
Well, and let me answer that, Shawty. I don't either. And I tell you what, and I told Jason this earlier. I said, you're probably not going to believe what I'm going to tell you when we were talking. And I said, I believe we're going to be 11-1, 12-0, or we're going to be 9-3 or worse. I don't know yet. I really do not know yet. I'm like you, Shotty. We've got a lot to prove, and I've got some other points I'll bring up in a little while that I think will be indicative of what we've got to do to be better than we are worse. But I agree.
Right. Look, I mean, I think if you get through that first game, you don't want to lose to the Aggies, even though it is on the road. But you got NIU after that, Purdue, Miami of Ohio. Yeah, I think that I don't really see too many places where you could lose. Maybe Florida State on the road at USC, and that's a rivalry game. But we saw what USC is soft. Like Rodney Terry at Texas basketball, soft as baby shit. So, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
And I say this too, Jason. Here's some things that I see that need to happen this year. I mean, from a big picture perspective, I think that we need to continue to see positive steps forward. And I kind of and I hate to use this as an example, but I need to see something like Harbaugh did at Michigan. Continual improvement year in and year out. We need to see that growth out of the Notre Dame team, the Notre Dame coaching staff. So I think that's one of the bullet points I had. Number two, they need to win the big games. They need to be able to beat the Ohio States, the Florida States. I mean, whoever they play on their schedule, because obviously the schedule doesn't look real strong this year, and that could help him. But again, we need to win the big games, which they haven't done. Now, I tell you one thing that excites me about this is that having Denbrock in there, his track record in the big games, you go back and you look, and in a lot of big games, ranked team games, they're scoring 30 plus points against ranked teams.
Right.
So I think that's something to look for there.
I think that was the biggest addition that you guys could have made, was to get Denbrock back in there, because we talked about this a lot last year. Was that offense was putrid, even with Sam Hartman, even with one of the best running backs in the country, bar none, and the line that was pushing people off the ball. I felt like that was it was so predictable what they were doing, under that coordinator, which obviously we know kind of what happened. But Mo, what are your thoughts on this? Kind of outside looking in and looking at Notre Dame over the past few years. What are your thoughts on Freeman and what you see over there?
I think Freeman's a charismatic coach, man. I think that he has a player's mentality. I think that players like to play for him. I think that he's built a nice foundation, but it is time for Notre Dame to take a step forward. I like the analogy that Coach made as far as what Harbaugh did at Michigan, as far as steady improvement over time, which resulted in a national championship in his final year. It was poetic, if you ask me. I think that Notre Dame's schedule is set up, man. What I see when I look at Notre Dame's schedule is the big three, and everything else is just role players. And what I mean by that is you got Texas A&M, you got Florida State, and you got USC. Everybody else on that schedule is just a role player. I mean, if they can perform in those games, beat Texas A&M in a statement game at the beginning of the season, go through the meat of their schedule, get to Florida State, play them close and win, and then at the end of the year, more than likely you can't go to a conference championship game because you're not in the conference. But I mean, in order for you, I mean, it's just set up well for them at this point because, like y'all were saying, NIU isn't gonna be a game that I want to watch. Purdue, Miami, Ohio. The last time they were even thought of was when Ben Roethlisberger was there.
Exactly.
You got Louisville. You don't know what type of offense they're gonna have. Stanford is up in the air because they're moving to the ACC. Am I right? And
Stanford, yes.
I mean,
Stanford's in
Stanford.
The ACC,
you don't know what
ACC,
Stanford's going to look like because
ACC.
you don't know what Stanford's going to look like on all of those road games across the country. You know what I mean? They're going to be bi-coastal, literally. So I mean, Georgia Tech may give you a run for your money. I mean, that'll be the toughest thing as far as Georgia Tech and Navy are concerned because they're probably triple option offenses. But I think that if y'all can't do it this year, Coach, I don't know when y'all will be able to. And I think this will be the nail in the coffin for Freeman. I think the seat will be hot at this point if he doesn't perform well with this schedule.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mo. It's, if he doesn't get it done this year, then it's time to move on and find somebody that can. But, I'm a huge believer in him. I think he can get it done. I think through the recruiting and the coaching hires that he's made, I think he's putting himself in position to do that. I think the other thing to add to this that is important, another big move that he made was his strength and conditioning coach, an NFL guy that I think will help improve the strength and conditioning. But, you touched on this, but offensively, guys, we have got to become aggressive. And I don't mean, I want to see players that when it's nut cutting time, I want to see players that step up and say, give me the damn ball. I'm going to win this ball game. And I haven't seen that kind of culture. It's just kind of like who's gonna make the play. We want to win, but nobody's saying give me the damn ball. And so I think that's one thing that's important. I mean, just that attitude, the way your team plays, the mental toughness, physical toughness, be consistent. Fight your ass off week in and week out. And, that's one thing that we haven't done in a long time, guys. Even with Coach Kelly that was very successful at Notre Dame, you have to go all the way back to Lou Holtz. Now you might beat Lou Holtz's team, but when you got off the field, your ass was physically beat to a pulp.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've got to come back to in order to be successful.
Yeah, and I don't think that I would tell you that I don't think that physicality is an issue with Notre Dame. I saw plenty of that last year. That they would run you over. They had the big boys on the line. They've done a really good job offensive line wise. Denbrock seems to be the type of guy that's he seems to get a lot out of quarterbacks. When you look at Jaden Daniels, he wasn't very good at Arizona. You could tell that he was a good player, but he didn't do anything like what we saw. I mean, he had one of the best seasons in college football history last season.
Yeah.
In the SEC, playing a tough schedule without a defense at all. That's why the people that are talking about Penix as the Heisman, I never understood that because it's not a team award, number one. Number two, I mean, if not for Jaden Daniels, they weren't going to win shit because they didn't have a defense, right?
Right.
No.
And I just think that, they had a tough schedule as well. But the thing is that he seems to get a lot out of guys. And Riley Leonard, he looked pretty good at Duke. I mean, man, if you can win games at Duke, it's it's another deal, right?
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
You see what happened with that head coach. I mean, he's at probably one of the richest programs in the nation right now because of what he did at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just speaks to a coaching pedigree, like you said, man. If you can win there, I mean, you can probably win anywhere. But the proof is going to be in the pudding, man. If Notre Dame can't get through the meat of that schedule before they get to FSU unscathed, it's hard for me to see them. It's hard.
I think he would be in trouble. I don't know that they fire him after this season, but I don't know that it would take a whole lot after that. I mean, if you can't get it together with the coordinator that you wanted, to go and get a guy like that from LSU, because if you can go pull a guy away from Kelly, a guy that's been there in the past.
Actually, too, Jason, we just pulled one of their staffers away that was on the offensive side of the ball.
Who is
that? Is oh God, let me think of his name. He was at he's actually been at Notre Dame before.
Right.
I can't think of. I'll think of it in a second. Let me look here.
I was also gonna say, man, I mean, you don't even know what type of Texas A&M team you're gonna get at the beginning of the year either.
No, you don't.
I mean, you have a brand new regime. You have a lot of turnover as far as the defensive line is concerned. Receivers are gone. I mean, you just don't know what you're gonna get with Texas A&M. But if you can manage to win that game,
I know that, but I don't know how if it was with the same talent or not. But then again, they weren't getting everything out of their talent that they, 2 years ago, they had the best recruiting class of all time, according to, the
But this is the thing. If you mess around and beat Texas A&M and Texas A&M has a magnificent year after that, then it'll be a great win. It'll be a signature win. If you beat Texas A&M, I still think that it'll be a signature win. But let's say Texas A&M poops the bed the rest of the season and doesn't win as many SEC games as everybody anticipates that they will. What type of loss will that look? I mean, what type of win or quality win will it be, especially if you lose a game in between that game and FSU?
Right. And that's why I'm telling you guys, like I said earlier, we can be 11-1, 12-0, or we can be 9-3 or worse. And I definitely think that that first ball game against A&M is huge. Yes.
Yeah. I think 9-3 is going to get you in trouble with that schedule if you're Marcus Freeman, right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, so the staffer that we're bringing his name is Trent Miles, and he was he spent 3 seasons as the wide receivers coach at Notre Dame from 2002 to 2004, and obviously been an offensive analyst at LSU for Denbrock. So I'm sure that hire came at the feet of Denbrock.
Yeah, look, Professor, I would say that Freeman's recruited a lot better than his predecessor did when it comes to that. And defensively, they were pretty good last year. I think that what they really needed to do was get it going offensively and have some imagination. I mean, look, a grade schooler could call what they were about to do. It wasn't hard to see.
And I have to say this, Professor, I don't know where you're getting your data or your information there, but you need to go look. I mean, we've got in the 2020, is it the 2024 class, that all those things have just been upgraded recently as their stars, and I think we have 4 or 5-star recruits coming in, and our 2025 class is looking just as good or better. So I'm not sure I'm buying into the recruiting piece.
Absolutely. Well, and as you can see, we've got a bunch of Sooner fans in here. We'll kind of move it into what we're talking about with Oklahoma as well. Here we go. The Arkansas man is going to talk some shit. I love it. Look, obviously first year in the SEC, but listen, and as a lot of these Sooner fans are saying in here that, the heat, it gets hot. It gets hot at Norman. It gets hot at Norman right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a lot of time if you don't get it done. The 6 and 7 season, I mean, we saw it first year when they lost their first game. There were people calling for BV's head. There really were. And look, I think that this is the year that you saw some significant improvements. It's something that we've talked a lot about the defense and what it was, and at times it was very good. Early in the season, it was very good. It was good against Texas for the most part. It was a lot of bend, don't break. They were good in the red zone. Some of that stuff kind of flaked off, but at the end of the year, you're looking at a situation where they were in the top 50 of total defense. They were in scoring defense. They were, I'm gonna have to remember. I gotta remember now. But look, there was improvements. The main thing that I really like to see is that, and I'm one of these people, I really like the athletic stat is the stop rate, defensive stop rate. I think that is probably it's the number of drives that you that end in either a punt or a turnover on downs, right? Total defense wise, you had Oklahoma at, let's see, it wasn't great, but it wasn't
horrible.
Well, it was. I mean, I think it was right outside of the top 50, I believe.
Man.
Actually, there were
that's a hell of a lot better than it has been.
They were 124th the year before that in total defense.
Yeah, exactly. A hell of a lot better than it has been.
Correct. And a lot of it too, I believe a lot of it too was you had some injuries that, I mean, when Danny Stutzman went down, I think there was some guys that, it didn't really help that, much as far as that went. Scoring defense, they were a little better. They were in the top 50 there, tied for 46th. Stop rate, I want to say they were right about the same there. But, or actually they were top 35 in scoring, in the stop rate, that defensive stop rate, which means I think that, and I think that all of those improvements are huge, because of the fact that, but this year it's got to be even better. And year 3 under Brent Venables at any position that he's been has generally been the big year for him to take a big step defensively. His first couple of years at Clemson, they were pretty bad. Year 3, they were really good. Year 4, they were really good. We're talking year 4, this is when they win the national championship. They have put together recruiting classes in the top 10 each of the first 3 years. Heavy on the defense. I've got a video coming out here in probably tomorrow morning that kind of a deep dive into what this recruiting class is. Rankings wise, it's 3 out of 3 rankings wise. If you look at it overall for what Oklahoma needed, Brent Venables has said that this is his best recruiting class yet. I agree with him. When you get 5 blue chip defensive line players, that's what you needed here. When you're going to the SEC, you got to get nasty on the D line.
Sounds like he needs 10. Coming into the SEC, he needs 10 to 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with the points that you're making as far as the improvements of Oklahoma's defense over the season. But man, in the Big 12, defense was optional. Defense is optional for everybody. I mean, that should be the slogan for the Big 12. Defense is optional. You know what I mean? Coming into the SEC, bro, defense is the flagship. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Defense is the standard. Offense is, you can have a middle of the road offense, man, but if you have a lockdown defense, if you have lockdown corners on the outside and certified pluggers up the middle, you're going to win a lot of football games. And I don't know how. I'm just interested to see how Oklahoma's offense matches up week in and week out with otherwise in other conferences elite defenses in the SEC.
Right. I think that offensively, now you do have a guy that's going to be in his first year as a starter. He started the bowl game. He had some interceptions, but he also had a couple of touchdowns, and he made some throws that we haven't seen out of Dylan Gabriel, and really we haven't seen out of a lot of guys. He's throwing guys open. If he can work on his timing, make sure the ball's coming out on time, I think that that's going to be big. And I think that, you know, you don't get to know the speed of the game, the college game, until you play in it. You know, I don't care if you're a 5-star. I don't care if you won the Elite 11 or not, which he did both those things. You know, he was the number one guy in the country coming in, or one of them anyway, him, Arch Manning, you know, depending on who the rankings were.
Right.
My opinion is he's a 5-star plus guy. It was important. But I'll tell you, they've got a receiving room that's ridiculous. They've got a running back room that should be ridiculous. The only questions offensively is you have a lot of talent there, but it's kind of unproven talent, right? It's just kind of unproven talent. So we're going to have to find out what he's about. You know, can he stay upright, and can he make sure to hold on to the football? Talent-wise, they don't have a problem. Their receivers are loaded. They've added guys in the portal. They've added guys in recruiting. They've got some guys that hadn't really broken through yet, but they've got some guys that have. I like what they look like offensively. My question is what are they going to look like on defense if they make that step forward this season? Because that'll obviously make things easier on him. If you can hold them to under 20, if you can hold your opponents to under 20 in the SEC and you can score 30, you're going to win. You know, we've talked about that a lot. And I think that if they can, hey, listen, you know how long it's been since they held somebody to an average of under 20? A long damn time.
That's why I said, that's why I did. Oklahoma holding a team to under 20?
Yeah. This is Brent Venables there, SEC Moe.
Man,
Brent
you
Venables we're talking about,
better
bro.
buckle up for a long season, Jason, because, man, I don't know how many teams they're going to be able to. Let's talk about the schedule, bro. Let's talk about the schedule.
And I'm glad you brought that up because the OU on the schedule went from the outhouse or from the penthouse to the outhouse.
Absolutely.
Because that schedule is
it's
mother
brutal.
bear.
It's brutal. I mean, y'all pulled everybody in the SEC. Everybody who's anybody in the SEC, OU pulled them.
Oh, I know.
Texas, compared to y'all's schedule, Texas got nothing.
Schedule. We didn't. Yeah,
so
I get it.
Y'all open the season with Temple. You know what I mean? That should be a nice tune-up game for you guys, man. Then you go to University of Houston. Houston, the Cougars are going to give you a fight. Then you got 2 years removed Tulane from the national championship dust-off that they got from Georgia. I mean, Tulane is going to be a good team, but don't get me wrong. I think that Tulane is going to be a lot tougher.
They lost their coach to Houston, so
that's nothing but a swap. You're going to pay. Yeah, you're going to play last year's Tulane team in Houston in week 2. Just put it that way.
Well, but it's at Norman, so at least they're, but you're right. I think Willie Fritz is a hell of a coach, though. Willie Fritz is proving he's a hell of a coach.
I mean, that's the benefit of the first 4 games on y'all season. I mean, on y'all schedule, because y'all are playing them all at home.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you get Tennessee, bro. Josh Heupel is going to be a high-powered offense and a much better defense than any defense y'all saw in the Big 12. Period. Other than Texas. Then you got Auburn, year 2 Hugh Freeze, and he is doing miraculous things in the transfer portal and recruiting right now. He's doing his thing. Then you got Texas, bro. The matchup of the Big 12 teams. I mean, the former Big 12 teams. Texas has a lot of offensive firepower and defensive firepower, bro. They are stout on the offensive line. They are stout on the defensive line. They got Quinn Ewers coming back. If Quinn Ewers goes out, you got a year 2 Arch Manning in that offense that understands the X's and O's at this point, so he can be plug and play for the most part. And then
stop it with that freaking
Arch Manning,
bro. Are you kidding me?
Hey, okay,
okay, rag arm.
Okay, all right,
bro.
And then the only breather y'all have, well, I won't say the only breather because y'all have 2 breathers. The next breather, which is still going to be a tough game, is South Carolina. You don't know what type of South Carolina team you're going to get. Last year, the offensive line was terrible. They couldn't get anything. They couldn't even protect Spencer Rattler. So I mean, the games that they won were off the greatness of Spencer Rattler. Period.
They're not coming
Then
to
you got-
Norman and getting anything. So yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, then you got Ole Miss, bro, and you're at Ole Miss.
Tough game.
That's in my opinion. And then I didn't even mention that you're at Auburn. That is going to be a tough game. And then you're at Ole Miss. You got Lane Petty Kiffin, who will hang up 70 on a team and not even blink. And I mean, that's just what he does. He'll hang up 70 on you and laugh about it. Then you got, is that Maine right there? Is that who that is? Maine?
That is. Yep.
I mean,
that's
a throwaway game.
It is, but I mean,
They play football there.
You got two buys that came at a decent time for them because you've got them. Let's see, you have one before Red River, obviously, and then you have, I believe it's before Alabama. I want to say
no. You got Auburn before the Red River rivalry. The week before, you got Auburn at Auburn.
No,
so
you
you're
don't.
likely going to be hobbling into the Red River rivalry.
It's 2 weeks before. So you've got it's 28th, and then October 12th is Red River, and then
okay. So you do have a bye. Okay,
between Mizzou and Alabama, one's a road game in Alabama. Then that's your second bye. But then you also got one between Ole Miss and Mizzou, pretty much with Maine. Now you don't want to mess around with them, but that was a game that it was replaced because you had Georgia on the schedule for the last couple of years. It obviously got pulled because they were going to the league. Look, they're gonna get their tests though. There's no doubt about it. You had this SEC schedule for Oklahoma. They were 67-32 in 2023. You've got road games at an 11-win Missouri, at a 11-win Ole Miss. You've also, and then of course Auburn, Tennessee, you're hosting them, but they had 9 wins last season.
Yep.
You had LSU on the road; they had 10. They're replacing their quarterback. But look, I don't care who you got. When you go and play Baton Rouge at night, that's a tough place to go win. Alabama,
yes,
I don't care that they lost some of their guys. Look, we're talking about a coach that's lost 12 games as a head coach out of freaking 116 games.
Yeah.
116 games, he's lost 12 of them. I don't care where you are. When you got a record like that, he's going to get those guys ready. Now, if it's Jaden Muro, I don't know that I trust in him and throwing the football the way that they're going to want to throw it. They also have some other guys at quarterback, and I would guess that they'll find somebody in the portal if they don't.
And they're going to have a much improved offensive line too at Alabama.
There isn't an easy game on this schedule, though. There's not. There's not an easy game on this SEC schedule. Yeah, the out of conference game. The out of conference games.
I'm glad to correct that.
You better win them all, or the seat just got real damn hot.
I'll say this. A successful season to me, in my opinion, would be 8-9 games for Oklahoma in the first year in the SEC. That's a successful year. I mean, you can already, let's say you win all of your out of conference games. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 wins right there. So that means you have to win at least 4 more games in the SEC.
You need to go at least minimum 4-4 in the SEC will get you to 8-4.
Yes.
Okay.
And man,
but there's not a game on there that I think that you can't win. I don't see a game that I would say. First of all, I will never tell you that Mizzou is going to beat Oklahoma. It ain't happening.
Okay.
It ain't happening.
Okay.
Mizzou is Mizzou's been doing a bunch of this. They got their whole defense, their defensive staff is gone. They're at LSU now. That was one of the things that kept them around. Now, they got a nice little offense going on. They've got a receiver, a couple of 5-star receivers, Theo Weiss. Obviously, you got why did I forget his name all of a sudden? But he's a stud. And then they've got a nice little running back. They've looked pretty good. They got a nice little team, but it's still Mizzou, man. It's still Mizzou. There ain't no way that I'm giving you Texas either, because here's what we saw last year. Texas, they've replaced a lot of the guys that they lost, but they lost essentially all their skill players aside from quarterback and the 2 running backs that came in place of Brooks, right? Now, the guys that they added are very good in the skill positions. but they still are going to be in year one in the system playing with the new quarterback. And one thing that we saw in the Red River game, and Coach, you talked about this last week. We were both talking about this. Who was the tougher of the two teams in that game?
I agree with you.
Oklahoma out physicaled them. They got them where they needed to get them. And this was the offensive line that was supposed to, quote unquote, dominate. They had 5 sacks on Quinn Ewers. They turned Quinn over twice. They're going to be better on defense this season. They led the country. They were the leaders in interceptions last year, and turnovers. They were in the top 10 in turnovers completely as a defense as well. If they make the strides that they made just from year 1 to year 2 defensively, watch out for Oklahoma. They could beat any of these teams that they play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I think that talent-wise, Oklahoma has the skill players, they have the coach, they have everything. You know what I mean? I don't disagree with you. They have the ability to beat every single team on this schedule.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
And there's there's another added piece to this too. Mm-hmm. You're not playing the Sisters of the Poor of the Big 12 week in and week out in conference games. Facts. You're playing SEC teams, yes. And to me, that's the biggest thing. If they can step up and compete at that level from that perspective, because you got to play consistently every week, be solid every week. Or in the Big 12, you could get away with, playing soft a few games. And that's not going to be the case. But I do agree. I think OU has got the talent. I think, again, I want to see the adjustment to the schedule from playing Sisters of the Poor to playing SEC teams. I think that's 2 big things for me.
I agree with that, Coach. And that's where I think that people are underestimating the SEC slate.
Absolutely. And I'll give you that part of it. It's not just that you play X team or Y Z. It's that you get them, and then the next week you got to go on the road or whatever. That's where I was saying. I think that these bye weeks are placed pretty well, considering, right?
Right.
You've got 2 good bye weeks headed into, Texas for as training wheels as their SEC schedule is, because it really is.
It is. I agree.
Texas 13 games below 500. Everybody but Oklahoma and Georgia is 13 games below 500 from this season. So that's a different deal for them.
Sarkisian's been kissing somebody's ass.
I was about to say, man, I think they're
trying to prop them up, man. I think that everybody wants to see Texas do well.
That's what it looks like.
That's where I was about to go with it. I think that they're trying to set Texas up to be the next blue blood in the SEC. I think that they're trying to set OU up to be the stepsister. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because, bro, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I've for as long as I've been alive, man, Arkansas has been in the SEC for as long as I can remember.
They lost their best 3 defensive linemen too, though. That's the thing, is nobody's talking about the players that Texas lost too. Now, I'll tell you this much: if they even find a way to split, if they were somehow to find a way to beat Oklahoma, which I'm not giving you that, but let's say they were find a way to split, or even if they lose both games to OU and Georgia, if they still don't play for the SEC championship game, that means that they've fallen the hell apart, because they've got Florida. They've got freaking Mississippi State, Vandy. Yeah. I mean, the best Arkansas. Look, I mean, and I'm not trying to hate on your Hogs, but man, they don't look that good right now.
Hell, you don't have to tell me that. I'm not impressed either. Yeah. Just because I'm a Razorback fan doesn't mean I can't be objective.
Bobby's going to be head coach early on. So if Bobby's head coach early on, you never know. They might put some offense together, right?
That's different. That's a different story. We're going to have offense. They also lost their D-line coach. One of the best there is, and he's in LSU, Bo Davis.
I know they got Colin Simmons coming in. I know they added another couple of pieces through the portal. This is not the same Texas football team that we saw a year ago. That I'm going to tell you. Now,
well, we're going to see. We're going to see. I mean, but bro, just think about this at like a boxing match, like a 12-round boxing match. The first game you got Temple, man, you're sizing your opponent up. Houston, you're going to start throwing some jabs because it's a team you're familiar with. Tulane. Tennessee is a matchup you don't see often, man. You don't have a lot of film on Tennessee. You don't know tendencies. You don't know Heupel's play calls. Like, then you get into Auburn, bro, and then Texas is another. That's just a rivalry game, period. But there are just so many matchups on this schedule that OU is just not used to seeing. And
I think the trench work is where you're going to run into some stuff in those games, right?
Man.
I think
that's where you're going to.
This is where, hey, look, you've seen a lot of people say anywhere from. I saw Suitor Cowboys say 7-5. I think that's crazy, but I could see 8-4, and I could see 10-2.
9-3.
I think 9-3 is probably
you see 10. You can see a 10-2 on this schedule.
I could because again, I don't think that there's anybody that they can't beat. If Jackson Arnold plays as well as he can, then yeah, there's a possibility there.
Okay.
Does that mean that that's where they're going to be? Maybe not. I'm not having those expectations right now. Really, I'm not telling you. I have never said that. I'm saying.
Tell me this, though, Jason.
Is a good season.
Jason, tell me this. You're saying there's a possibility of 10-2. If we're talking percentages, would you say that's a 80%, 90%, 10%?
Mm-hmm.
What percent do you think has the possibility of 10-2?
I think 10-2. I mean, I think they're going to have a special season. I think 10-2 would mean that that Jackson came in and he's probably fighting for the Heisman if they go 10-2. So that
if you're 10-2, you're aiming for a national championship.
Right. No, because you're going to get to the playoff. If you're going to get to the playoff at 10-2, you might get there at 9-3.
Yeah.
You know, you might get there at 9-3, but here's the deal. If they my guess is more around 9-3. I feel like 9-3 is probably, we're asking about who would be on the hot seat. And I'm telling you, anything less than 9-3, you're going to have a segment of this fan base that is not going to be happy.
Just my opinion, I'm under. Just my damn opinion, I'm under. I'm under 9 wins for OU.
Okay. Where do you think where are their losses at? Tell me where they're at. You're getting beat
at
up.
Death Valley. I'm going backwards that's fine. Man, listen, man. There is nothing you can do or say to me that can beat me up any worse than Sam Pittman has.
Hey, and you guys got to give him props for that. He came in here to take y'all's heat. Here we go.
All right. I can stand in the kitchen because I've been taking it for years. But anyway, I don't see y'all winning at LSU. I don't see y'all winning at Death Valley, bro. Especially coming off of Alabama.
Yeah, that's the one I would say that I wouldn't expect that one to be.
I think y'all are going to lose at Auburn too.
If they were a bad team, you can't expect to win at night in Baton Rouge.
No. I see y'all losing at Auburn.
Okay.
I see y'all losing at Ole Miss. I see y'all losing at LSU. That's 3. So that's got you at 9 right there.
Okay.
I have a strong feeling.
See, here's the thing. I don't buy the Auburn one. And the reason,
dude, y'all are underestimating how difficult it is to play at Hold on. At Jordan Hare, bro.
I don't know shit about that Jordan Hare crap or the mystique or nothing. It don't mean nothing to Oklahoma yet. It don't mean nothing to Oklahoma yet. And until they have to deal with it.
That's the point. Because when you walk into it, you come in not knowing what you don't know.
If you go in there and you don't care and you just go in there to play, you don't care about it. There is only one Oklahoma. Thank you, Punky. That is correct.
All right. Well, let's see how y'all enjoy that mile walk.
I think this is the year that you got to get it. I think this is the year that you got to go ahead and get that win at Auburn because this is, I think that Hugh Freeze is going to turn that program around. He's got an opportunity to do it now. He's done very well in the portal. Hell, he had a top 10 class.
Exactly.
They're going to be there, but yeah.
But those are 3 losses right there that I see automatically. Texas is a toss-up.
Yeah. Texas is always well. Here's the deal, though. Oklahoma is 7-3 in their last 10 against Texas. We're not worried about Texas, man. They always win the offseason. I'll tell you that, and you know that. 2 years ago,
but you're not worried about them.
No, never.
He said,
Why would you worry about Texas? Why would you worry about it? You can't worry about them. I mean, is it a place that you could lose? Sure.
Absolutely, because y'all are playing. It's a neutral site game.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But they've won 7 out of the last 10, and OU is not afraid of Texas, man.
Okay.
Never. I'm not saying they're afraid of them, but you got to be worried.
Yeah, and I'll interchange. The 4th loss will be at Mizzou or versus Tennessee.
Easy killer, easy.
I'm just telling you, those are the losses that I see. To get y'all to 8, those will be the losses.
So you got them going 8-4. Then you're going to say 8-4.
Yeah, yes, 8-4 is what I'm thinking that OU is going to do year 1 in the SEC. Yes.
Okay.
That's not a bad season, bro. It's not OU standard.
I don't think it is. Listen, I'm not saying that it's a bad season. What I would tell you is that would be that better be the last one. That puts 2025 as a go prove it year right now. This is where you start seeing, okay, now the pressure's up. If you go 9-3, you're okay. Because that might even still get you in the playoff at 9-3, and depending on how it all goes. If you can go 9-3, you're probably going to be in the playoff. If you go 8-4 with the guys that you have, they just brought the best defensive line class in Oklahoma history, and Professor's sitting there telling you he's doing all that recruiting stuff. He thinks it's the best recruiting class in the country as far as defensive line is concerned.
Where does that rank against every other SEC team?
Ready to play year 1? I think a couple of them probably are. The guys in front of them should be ready to rock and roll too. This should be a big year defensively. This is why I could see 9-3 and possibly even 10-2, is because I do believe that you're going to see them take a big step forward on defense.
Okay. If they are what you say they are going to be on defense, then 10-2 is possible. Yes. Because they're not. They would then be able to beat and compete with Auburn. They would then be able to beat and compete with Ole Miss, because at Ole Miss defense is optional as well. Their defenses are just a lot better than most Big 12 defenses, but a lot worse than most SEC defenses, man. I would say that
ready year 1. Okay. Yeah, see, I think that 10-2 is doable, and Shawty's not wrong, really. 8-4 can put you behind in recruiting. And I mean, shoot, even being a top 10, I think right now they're like 5th or 6th in the SEC with recruiting rankings. Now, again, make sure you guys tune into my video that I'm working on to put out in the morning. It's going to talk a little bit about it and put some of these rankings in perspective, because I think some of it's crap, but to be honest with you. That being said, it is still a top 10 class. They're on schedule to do what they need to do to win in the SEC. It's still year 1, man, and it's a different game than what they've been playing. It's a different game.
Do you have a visual of the too early top 25? I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, let me pull up the athletic real quick, because I don't like it.
That's why I want to see it. I haven't seen it.
Don't you guys have Okie Light this year? You guys are playing Okie Light, right?
Who, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah. We play Oklahoma State. Let me go back. Let me go check.
Is that week 2 or something? I think week 1.
I think it's week 2. Yeah. I'm waiting on them to call me about my season tickets, man. Because we got a lot of great games coming to Arkansas this year. I'm debating whether or not I'll go to Stillwater. It's in Stillwater, right? Not Stillwater, but where is Oklahoma State?
Stillwater, yes.
Yeah, Stillwater. I'm
They
debating on
fucking-
whether or not I'll go to that game.
That stool water, Mo.
Stool water.
All right, I have to start calling it stool water.
Sorry,
But
man.
but I mean,
Where
for
did I get that?
Arkansas schedule is it's tough, man. I mean, when is it not though? I feel like it's similar. It's definitely similar to OU schedule. We don't have Georgia, we don't have Alabama on our schedule for the first time in maybe 25, 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So just a quick rundown on Arkansas schedule. Not that anybody cares, but
Yeah, I do.
you got UAPB opening week. Then you're at Oklahoma State week 2. Then you got UAB. Then you're at Auburn. We go to Jordan Hare as well. And then we got Texas A&M, which is the final year of the Southwestern Classic in Dallas. So that'll be the ending of that contract at Cowboy Stadium. Then we got Tennessee. Then we got LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Texas, Louisiana Tech, and then Mizzou. Our schedule is pretty much identical to OU's. I mean, for the most part. So, to be quite honest, man, I mean, if Arkansas, which I'm not saying that they are, but if Arkansas y'all are a much better team than Arkansas. I'll say that. But I also don't anticipate that Arkansas is going to win more than 5 games this season.
Yeah. How long does Pittman make it?
If he loses any of his first 3 games, he's out.
Any of the first 3.
If he loses any of his first 3 games, he's gone.
Mhm.
That's UAPB, Oklahoma State, and UAB. He has to beat Oklahoma State to keep.
Well,
his
here's
job.
the deal. Oklahoma State in this way too early top 25 for the Athletic, where I don't know what Stuart Mandel is smoking lately. I got to see, because they got Okie Light in the top 10.
What?
Yeah. Look, I like Ollie.
What
Gordon.
justified that?
I like Ollie Gordon, and I was trying to get Okie Light Cody to come in here, and I like Ollie Gordon, but I'm gonna tell you now, there ain't no damn way that with Alan Bowman as your quarterback that they are going to win that conference. They're not going to win that conference, man. They are not a top 10 team. There ain't no damn way. Ohio
Who's left
State
in the Big 12?
No, it's
They got
Utah.
Texas at number 3.
Yeah, Texas moved up to number 3. I don't understand.
Wow.
I mean, they lost
You-
they lost Xavier Worthy, they lost Jatavian Sanders. I mean, again, yeah, okay. Matthew Golden from Houston. So what? You know, UTSA pass rusher Trey Moore. Okay, good for him.
My
He was
question
in the
is this,
AAC.
Jason, who
Yeah.
knew any of these names before last year? Who knew any of those players other than Quinn Ewers before Texas had the season they had?
Wait. A.D. Mitchell played for Georgia and won back-to-back natties. We knew him. Xavier Worthy was one of the top receivers in the country. We knew him. Jatavian Sanders, the only tight end in the country that was better than him, was at Georgia.
Okay, all right.
They had a good offensive line. They the best offensive line in the country, if you ask them. It's until they played Oklahoma and gave up 5 sacks. But they did get Makuba from Clemson, good safety. Look, they're reloading, but I'm going to tell you again. I'm telling you again, these guys are going to struggle on the defensive line. When you lose Bo Davis, he's one of the best D-line coaches in the country, and they lost him to LSU. That concerns me for the LSU game more than anything else. They might actually get it together on defense this season.
They won't.
You don't know what LSU is going to have on offense without Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Without Denbrock.
Without Denbrock, that could hurt them. Yeah, look,
They got
I'm not
Oregon
sure
at
who
number
did they
4.
bring in. Who did they bring
Ole
in?
Miss at number 5.
Ole Miss at number 5. Well, look what they did in the portal. I mean, Jackson Dart last year, they went 10-2. I mean, Walter Nolan coming in from A&M, that's a big pickup there. Judkins, they didn't really need.
No, I like, to be honest with you, I like Bentley better than I like Judkins.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too.
Bentley was a beast.
So they did just pick up those two guys off of the Washington offensive line too, and they were, starters. I mean, that was a Joe Moore line. Now Oklahoma did just add one of the tackles from that line too, and Garin. Help me with the name, folks. I like him. I think Oklahoma is helping themselves out as far as the offensive line is concerned, and Oklahoma has the best offensive line coach in the country. So I feel like, hey, man, he just keeps on putting first rounders in there.
Okay. And then they got Michigan at number 6. I don't see that.
I think that's a little high
with the new
for them,
coach.
right? Notre Dame, number 7.
Ooh, not those fighting Irish. How you feeling about that, Coach?
I think early on it's I think we're too high at this point.
Yeah. I feel like that's whenever the thing that I hate about the top 10, man, is that anybody within the top 8, you have to win or you're gonna fall really, really far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you lose early on.
Freeman's talking about it here, Mike. I don't think that LSU is going to be bad, and I know that nobody likes Brian Kelly. Nobody likes Brian Kelly, but the dude can coach.
Yeah.
That's all a matter of opinion. The dude can coach unless he's playing ranked teams.
He beat Alabama in his first year.
Yeah.
Then they got who's that at number 8?
They have this season.
Who was that at number 8?
At number 8 is Bama,
Alabama, then Utah at
number
number
9, Utah, and then
Oklahoma State at number 10.
Right.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. Oklahoma State at number 10. Wow. Louisville at number 11.
The dude he may be smoking crack, not even weed. I think he might be smoking crack. I don't know where you get this from. There's no way.
Missouri at number 12?
Middle of the road in the Big 12 still. Watch.
Jason, he got it off of that big signature win that he took from you guys.
Shush.
Arizona at number 13.
I'm being serious.
But the week after that, they got drugged at UCF, and then they got drugged in that conference championship game too, man.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
Arizona at number 13.
Yeah, they kept most of their guys, but they got a new coach. I don't know, man.
They got shitty Missouri at 12.
At number 14.
State, right?
Penn State at man. OU isn't anywhere to be found.
15th.
15.
Oh, they're right. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
15th. They've kept them at 15 pretty much. That's okay. I mean, I guess I'm okay with that. I've already beaten this dead horse to death on.
But let's say hypothetically,
does not make me happy.
Let's say hypothetically, y'all do start the season out at number 15, right outside the top 12.
Yeah.
What do you think y'all's chances are to make a 12-team playoff if y'all lose to Texas A&M game 1?
We don't play Texas A&M.
Not Texas A&M. Hold on. Who's on y'all schedule? Who do y'all play first game?
Is the first Tennessee.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about Notre Dame that plays Texas A&M. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Tennessee's not beating Oklahoma. Tennessee's not beating Oklahoma, man. It's not gonna happen. And I like Josh. Don't get me wrong. I like Josh. I liked Josh a hell of a lot more than any of you guys did last week when we did these rankings. I think he's one of the better coaches in the SEC. The guy's 27-12 at Tennessee. When's the last guy that did anything close to that at Tennessee? It's been a while.
Lane Kiffin was trash. Fulmer, yeah.
So that's been what, 15, 16 years ago? That's a long time ago, man. So look, I think that he's a good coach, but here's one thing. He coached at Oklahoma for a long time. He coached with Brent Venables at Oklahoma for a long time. They know he played at Oklahoma. We know who he is.
Okay.
We know who he is. That one, look, it's your tough home game? That in Alabama? Sure. Absolutely. None of them are going to be easy when it comes to, except for probably South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think that South Carolina might be your one breathe game.
Yeah, I would say that Josh Heupel is under a little bit of pressure this year too, because they took a step back last year. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You got to think
Yeah.
about what he did the year before with what was that super senior quarterback's name he had, man? Golly, I forget his name, man. But
There's
the
bad blood
performance,
for Josh against OU. I don't think any of us hate Josh, do we? I don't. I love Josh Heupel, man.
No, I like Josh.
I'm not bad blood with him. I think that Bob did him dirty. I tell you, man, as much as I love Bob Stoops, he did Josh dirty.
but I mean, I think he's under some pressure this year, though, for sure at Tennessee.
He went 9-4 after going 11. I mean, he won 11, but man, they had a bad quarterback last year, though. And is Nico? Is he going to be a freshman or is he going to be the real deal? Offensively, I think they're going to put it together. He showed, though, that they could play defense. You know, you guys were talking about how bad that defense was. It wasn't. I mean, I put that up on that second video that I cut and put out. They were in the top 40 of total defense. They were in the top 30 of scoring defense. Or no, they were in the top 20 of scoring defense. And they were, I want to say, number 3 in the SEC in both categories. And then they were like, I want to say top 10 of the athletics stop rate. They were good on defense. That was one thing that they did do. You know, so I like Tennessee. I think that they're a tough team.
So let me ask this: am I just dreaming this, or are they under investigation right now?
They are
about Nico.
I didn't get a chance to read the article, but I did see that they were under investigation.
What happened there?
I don't know. I just recall sometime during the day seeing a news flash that they were going to be under investigation, and it didn't sound good from what I was seeing. It sounded like they were going to get hammered.
Yeah, I want to read it to see what violations there were, to see if it applies to any other teams in the SEC.
Right.
Yeah.
Surprises me that LSU is as low as it is, but that's where they've been. But he had to make his full staff. They did get Corey Raymond back. Bo Davis, I like. Nussmeier is a question mark, though. I like that he can spin it, but I like Nuss. I don't know, man. I think that they're probably going to be better than what people think, but we're going to find out.
They're better than 20. I'll tell you that.
Harold Perkins, if they find a way to use him correctly this year,
yeah.
I mean, good grief, what did they do with that dude last year?
Man, he's a man out there. And then you got A&M at 21, Iowa at 22. Really?
Is it all over NIL stuff, Hankster? Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, and I've been saying this, Chuck. I mean, yeah, look. You would rather have some experience there. Do I think that the upside for Jackson is really good? Yeah. I don't know how many of these defenses we're going to face. I mean, how many of these teams are really, really good on defense? Aside from Georgia, and we don't have to play them.
What other teams within the top 20 or top 25 that are good on defense?
Well, I'm trying to look and see. Well, I mean, of who they played. You've got LSU. Tennessee was good on defense.
Yeah,
I don't know what they got coming back defensively, but let's see. They brought in a couple of guys, it looks like.
Jacoby Thomas at safety.
Yeah. We're going to find out, man. We're going to find out.
Oh, yeah, you're going to find out for sure.
But Kansas being in front of Clemson, that woof.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kansas,
that's crazy.
That tells you that Clemson's in deep shit.
That's because Dabo doesn't want to get into the portal.
I'm a fan of Lance Leipold. I think the guy's a hell of a coach, right?
Yeah.
But man, you're not supposed to be better than Clemson. I don't see it, man. A&M at 21. They love A&M, man. I swear they love A&M.
Yeah, they do.
Iowa at 22. Don't buy that one.
They want A&M to be a blue blood so
NC
bad.
State? Why?
Iowa State. Yeah,
Matt did a good job. Matt did a good job last year for what I mean, hell, the whole state of Iowa was in trouble for gambling.
Who's at number
Shit.
25? Duke.
Miami. Yeah, right. Get out of here.
Miami.
Oh, they did get
the biggest question mark that I have with this top 25 is that LSU is
know
at
what he
20.
was smoking, man. I want to know what he was smoking. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, the biggest question mark I got is why is LSU 20?
And Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and Oklahoma State
Those
number
two.
10. Yeah.
Those two stand out really bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like they're trying to prop Texas up to be the next team.
I agree.
In the SEC. But you know what though?
You know that's
the reason why
every ESPN loves them. Hell, they gave them their own damn. They gave them their own damn network.
That was the point I was about to make, man. Because Texas is a marketing / cash cow. You can market the hell out of Texas. You can rake in cash with Texas. I mean,
that's right.
I mean, to be quite honest, I mean that's the next runner. I mean, that's the next man up if we're talking about Alabama taking a step back. You know what I mean? Georgia has a nice brand, but it's nowhere near like a Texas or an Alabama or hell in OU, in my opinion. I think that OU has a stronger brand than Georgia. Maybe not a better team, but brand.
Yeah. Right now they don't have a better team, but here's the thing. You got to be able to sustain this recruiting stuff I mean, you're going to have to be able to sustain it.
So what does your 2025 recruitment look like at this point, Jason?
So far, man. They just had their junior weekend. This past weekend, they've already picked up a couple of. I mean, look, you've got a good quarterback come in. They've already added another, I believe, D-line guy. Talk to me about some of that guys in here in the comment section. But look, they were already good. I mean, they picked up a lot of guys for the 25 class early. I mean, last year you have Kevin Sperry, for instance. He moved from Dallas to Oklahoma City to play, and he's already won a state championship. Look, he's going to end up waiting his turn. As much as I like Kevin Sperry, Michael Hawkins is next in line, if you ask me. Michael Hawkins is the real deal. His dad was a 12-year. He played at Frisco Emerson. Look, man, he didn't go to a ton of camps. The guy has got real deal speed, and he's got an arm that's very similar to Jackson Arnold's. Sperry, I like him a lot too, but I think that he's locked in, man. He stays locked in with it. But I really feel like he's going to end up waiting his turn. They're good at quarterback for the foreseeable, as far as I can tell. Now, that being said, and skill position-wise, you said it yourself last week, Oklahoma doesn't really have a big problem with getting QBs. It doesn't have a big problem getting receivers or running backs. I mean, this is what Oklahoma does. The big deal is to continue building on that defensive line. When you get 5 blue-chip defensive linemen for this class alone, that tells you the direction they're headed in. They know what they got to do. Is it this year? Maybe, maybe not. But I really believe I've been marking 2025 as the year that they really make a run at it.
Okay.
I've been saying that a lot, but I would deal with 9-3.
And Michael Hawkins is your QB of the future.
He is. Wait till you see his film, bro.
6'2", 195, Emerson High School, Dallas, Texas.
Emerson. He went to Allen the year before, played with, and look, here's another guy that you should watch, Devon Mitchell. He reclassed from 25. He was a top 15 recruit, 5-star in the 2025 class, the number 1 guy in California. He played the year before that at Allen with Michael Hawkins. They're together on that. This dude is a big-time stud. They dropped him to 240-something in the rankings. There ain't no damn way there's 240 kids that are better than Devon Mitchell. Wait and see.
Tight end, 6'4", 245, York, Alabama.
Monster. Gonna love him.
So he went to what high school did he go to if he left Alabama?
He went to Allen in out there in around Frisco, right? He went to that's where Kyler Murray went, and then he was at Los Al. He was at Los Al in Los Alamitos in California this last year. But they had him ranked the #1 recruit in California, period. That's a big time number to be in California, to be the #1 player in the whole state. You know? So
4-star tight end, huh?
yeah, and he's a 5-star. That's another one of the things I'm talking about. He was a 2025 5-star. They dropped him a long ways because of him moving up in the class, but that tells you what kind of talent they're bringing in there. You know,
Okay.
I like it where they're at. The OU problem has always been the D-line. We're going to find out now, though. They're changing things up the way they're doing things. Smitty's back in the building. Oklahoma's on his way. And listen, here's the deal. If they were to freaking stumble and not get it done, they won't mess around on pulling the plug on it either. This is Oklahoma. You can't lose
On
for
who?
long. You cannot lose.
On Venables?
Absolutely. You don't get to lose for long.
Okay. All right. I mean,
how long? I mean, I think that after 20, if they were to have a sub 8-4 season, or even 8-4 might get him a little heated up, and then they don't go big in 2025, I could see him being gone.
8-4 is gonna heat the seat, no doubt. 8-4 is gonna heat the seat. Now, if he turns around and goes 8-4 the next season, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I feel like Venables has at least 2 years. They have to give him at least a 2-year ramp up in the SEC.
I think so too. And I don't think that, well, and his deal is structured so they're going to pay him all of it if they were to fire him. He's going to get 5 years.
That's how every coach's deal is structured now. I mean, that's a story in itself. All these payouts. You know what I mean? Hell, you can fire me they can fire me tomorrow.
You should never worry about Oklahoma. You should just not worry about OU when it comes to offense.
Yeah, they can fire me tomorrow if you're going to pay me $7 million.
You're going to see a different team on defense starting this season. You are.
Okay. All right. Let's mark it, man. January 30th, 2024. Jason is dead set that OU is going to have a markedly better defense going into the SEC.
Fact. It's a fact. You can hey, write it down, take a picture. I said it.
All right. I said it. Let's see how that high-powered offense holds up against these SEC defenses coming into this season. Hey man, we need to go to SEC Media Days, man.
Hey Jason,
we are going to SEC Media Days.
Hey, hold on just a second. I'm recording this, so I've got this. I need you to say it again, what you just said.
They're going to be markedly better defensively than they were this season, and certainly better than they were the year before. But they made a big improvement from year 1 to 2. Oklahoma. They're going to have a top 30 defense. I don't have any doubt about that.
You also said that Oklahoma is going to hold teams to under 20 points.
I said if they hold teams to under 20 points, then you don't know what's going to happen. That's what you're hoping to get to. I think 2025 you can see that for sure.
That's normal in the SEC, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's normal.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And Jason, just the last question. What do you think your record is next year?
I think they go 9-3. I've been saying 9-3.
Okay. So I'm not far off with 8-4. It's just one more loss.
I think they go 9-3. If Jackson Arnold has a hell of a year, they could go 10-2. But my guess is 9-3. Just a lot of tough road games, man.
Somebody asked, does Moe do what? I thought I saw does Moe what?
Let me see.
Thanks, guys.
I know about David Stone. Do you know about David Stone?
Who is David Stone?
The #1 defensive lineman in the country.
David Stone. Let me look him up. Let me look up his measurables. I need to see some measurables.
6'5", 270.
He can be
6'4",
6'5".
270.
He could be 6'5", 270 pounds of toilet paper, man. Wet toilet paper. You know what I mean?
He ain't. He's not, bro.
Oh.
And he brought his buddy with him. They were at IMG. They're ballers, man. His
Let me
boy
go
that he
back
brought
to this
with him might
roster.
actually be a little better in year one, I think, because he's just bigger. 300-pounder already, man. Samoan kid. Nasty.
Now, just because you said Samoan, I'm already on board. I mean, any Samoan kid is going to be.
Yeah, Jaden Jackson's a nasty dude, man. And look, they're going to play next to each other. Then Nigel Smith, man, I still believe that Nigel's probably going to have an opportunity to be pretty good. He's the same size as Stoney.
Okay, David Stone. Okay, 6'4", 275. Dale City,
And then
Oklahoma.
Nigel Smith is 6'5", 275.
Okay.
And been working with. They're going to be good, man. Grown men.
But like you said, bro, I mean, what are the odds that this group of freshmen is going to come in and turn around the Oklahoma offense in the SEC year one? I mean, the Oklahoma defense in year one in the SEC.
It's not but it's not just them. They've got other guys that they had 6 top 100 players in their recruiting class last year. All but 2 of them were defensive guys. Peyton Bowen, 5-star safety, number 2 safety in the country. PJ Adebaware, defensive. He was a top 5 guy, defensive edge guy. He's ready to rock and roll this year. They're ready, man. They're ready.
Okay.
It's gonna be better.
Okay.
It's gonna be better.
All right. We shall see.
Yeah, his buddy.
I'm ready for SEC media days, man. I'm ready for media days. I'm ready to see spring games too.
Danny Okoye too. Yeah, I like him a lot. Grayson Halton. I think G Baby's is ready to have a big year, man. Ready to have a big year.
I'm ready for
guys. Make sure that you check out my. I will have that video out in the morning. It's just a preview, kind of talking a little bit about it. Jumped into some stuff with a lot of this recruiting stuff, man. And you guys know it's so subjective. It's really hard to predict the players. 5-star quarterbacks are one thing. They're generally going to go to the NFL. But when it comes to like 5-star offensive linemen, that's a crapshoot. You need to have a guy like BB. You got Bill Bedenbow. That's what's great there. Linebackers are also hard to choose on. This is one of the. I'm just gonna give you a couple of those things that what my research is showing me that that's your crapshoot is is the linebackers, some of the corners and things like that. They're the hardest ones to predict because it's not a lot of guys that you see even at corner that they're just cornerbacks and they really work on their craft. So you're gonna have to find out, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of is what it is. But I think that Oklahoma's ready for the SEC. I'm excited about the SEC. I know that. I cannot wait, man.
You should be, man. You've come into a sacred brotherhood. You've come into a much better conference than the Big 12. You know what I mean? I mean, you should be excited. You should be, because you're going to be able to finally find out if OU is a really, really good program.
OU is a blue blood program. They're going to be really good. They're going to be really good.
I think the jury's out. I
agree,
really
Coach.
I think the jury's out. I mean, you can play in the Big 12 forever and look really good.
Yep.
And again, I think it's just a consistency, and I'm not saying that to be a turd, because I would say the same thing about the Irish going to the SEC. I think we'd stand in the very same boat, and to be quite frank, I think OU has had more success than Notre Dame, and closer to being called the blue blood than the Irish, especially in recent years.
There's no doubt about that. They're both blue bloods.
But at the end of the day, again, scheduling and how does that look year in and year out, week after week? That's where I'm saying the jury's still out.
Well, but here's the other thing that I agree with that, and I think that look, I believe that first year you're probably going to have a couple of. But look, it's a learning. You're going to have a couple
It's
of
a learning curve.
Absolutely, man. And you're going
I
to go
agree.
down that rocky road and have to look when you see that. Well, 11 wins for Missouri, 12 wins for Alabama, 9 wins for freaking Tennessee, 10 wins for LSU, 11 wins for Ole Miss. They don't really get a break.
Nope.
No.
Texas had 12 wins.
And again, I'm going to say this.
And what was y'all schedule last year in the Big 12? What was y'all schedule last year in the Big 12?
10-2. They went 10-2, and they shouldn't have lost the game. Now the I don't want to talk about the Okie Light game, but it was because it was bullshit.
And I was about to say, man,
it shouldn't have gotten to that point where it could be affected by the officiating, but it was affected by the officiating. There's no two ways around it. Now, should it have gotten there? No, it shouldn't have. Period. There's just no two ways around it. Now, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out where they're at in this year, and I think that's one of the questions is definitely Jackson Arnold. Is he ready to go? Is he gonna be everything he can be? He's a sophomore, but he's basically a freshman, bro. He's basically a freshman. First year as a starter. He's played one game. Now, how
he's
much
got the ability?
Absolutely.
He definitely has the ability.
He can get it out. We saw throws from him in that game that we would never see from Dylan Gabriel. Hell, we would have never seen those throws from Caleb Williams.
I tell you what, though, if I had to go into the SEC, I would rather have gone into it with DG. That's just me.
We talked about that. Yeah, listen, I've said that too. I would have loved to have entered the SEC with experience. I would have.
Yeah, I agree.
But towards the end of the year, there was throws that he was missing, man. There was just throws that he was missing, and I don't think Lebby trusted him enough a lot of times too. Part of it was Lebby not trusting him enough in that damn jet sweep. But I do believe that if you're not going to hit the deep throw, you for not having the arm, his timing wasn't great. So if our issue right now is with Jackson Arnold is you got to get the ball out on time, that's a good problem to have because it's the same shit we had with freaking DG. Yeah. Get it out. Get the ball out.
Well, and you said something, Jason, there. DG kind of regressed as the year went along. And it's really interesting to hear you say that because I thought the same thing about Sam Hartman.
Right.
He regressed as the year went along. And again, and you said something else. And you said something else there. It was, and I know culture is a word that we use probably too damn much. I mean, we use it too much. But what was that culture with the offense coordinator and the quarterback room? And, with DG, with Hartman, was it something? I mean, it almost looked like we were stuttering and holding back on making a play. And that can come from your coach not having the full trust in you. And you get gunshot. I think I saw that.
DG loose early, when he turned DG loose early in games, they ran away from teams. Like West Virginia, for instance, he turned him loose in that game and they blew their asses out. Same thing with some of these other games, when he let it, he knew he had to let him run, let him kind of do his thing against Texas. What did he do? He had a hell of a game. Look, I'm never going to have anything bad to say about Dylan Gabriel. I'm not. I think that for what happened to this program with the way that Lincoln Riley left, 2 5-stars walk out the door with him, even though I'm not a big Spencer Rattler fan, the dude had a big arm. And look, he had more ability than DG, but he's definitely didn't have it between the ears like Dylan did.
Hell, you see what he did with a makeshift offensive line at South Carolina?
Hey, look, man, for him to have to come in and have to follow Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams, and man,
Yeah,
they
what about
were a
Baker
top 15
Mayfield? What
offense. They
about
were a top 15 offense the year before, or his first year there, and they were a top 5 offense this past season. It wasn't really. Now there was the only thing that is sometimes that's misleading, because when they were bad on offense is what hurt them, right? He didn't let him go in the damn Kansas game. Hell, he didn't have as many throws as Jason Bean. Unbelievable. But I will say that I love me some DG, but I'm okay with let's start the Jackson. I mean, you got to be okay with it at this point. He's gone. I mean, DG ain't coming back. He ain't walking back in the door. So get ready. But we're gonna find out how good he really is. And this is a trial by fire. Don't get it twisted. This is gonna be trial by fire in the SEC.
it is. It
But
is.
he has the skill set that Dylan Gabriel will never have. He just won't have it.
Hey, Jason, I do want to just touch on Shotty's question here. Where'd that go?
This one. Who finished ranked highest at the end of the season?
Just my damn opinion is Shotty.
Yeah, that's Shotty.
Got it.
Oh man. Who finishes with a higher ranking at the end of the season? Well,
Notre Dame. Well, Notre Dame.
Here's what I believe. Here's what I believe on that. We have the opportunity to, if we win the first ball game. If we lose the first ball game,
you mean the second, the A&M game, or is the first?
First game, A&M. If we win the A&M game, we have a chance to. If we lose the A&M game, I don't think we do. I think we end up behind Texas.
Yeah, Notre Dame, in my opinion, man, just based off the strength of schedule, Notre Dame is going to win more games. UT is second.
I feel like if Notre Dame doesn't make it into here's what I would tell you is if Notre Dame doesn't make it into the playoff, it's a bad season.
Oh, they got to fire Freeman.
That's a trash schedule.
Yeah,
I mean, if they don't fire him, he's going to
like y'all did last year.
His ass will be in deep shit though.
You hear me, Jason?
Huh?
You hear me, Jason? It looks like y'all's last year.
I don't know that it's that good.
I think it is. I
don't know, man.
Y'all's last year was pretty poor.
It was pretty bad, but we didn't have Navy or but Miami of Ohio. Although they did have Arkansas State. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And look,
Arkansas State.
What I'm saying
is,
you look at Notre Dame's schedule last year. I could understand where they ended. They still ended up with 10 wins though? They went 10-3, right?
Yeah.
They need to make a step forward with this schedule though. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I'm saying I think I truly believe.
Robert, thanks for coming in, buddy.
I truly believe if we win against A&M, we could have an 11-1, 12-0 season. And worst case scenario, after that first win would be 10-2. But I, looking at Texas schedule,
it's easy too. They're catching Michigan even at the Big House. They're catching Michigan without any of their guys that won the national championship. They're all unproven. I like Sharon Moore. Probably more than I like freaking Sark. But I don't think that if Texas doesn't win that game, it may not be a signal of bad things to come for Texas in that game, right?
Sure.
Here's the thing, though. Once they get done with Oklahoma and Georgia, it's a cakewalk.
It's a JV
schedule. It's a JV schedule, man. You literally have I think that the best game that you probably have after that might be Florida. In Florida, you don't know because they got such a rough schedule. They got the nastiest schedule probably in history.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's bad, dude. Look at their schedule. It's just one ass whipping after another coming their way.
Let me see.
Yeah, they've got
They did old Sunbelt Billy no favors. None.
Old Napier. I think Texas A&M is going to be
Arkansas. They got Arkansas. They got Vandy. They got freaking Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Jeff Levy's first year. They don't have nobody there. They were trash last year.
Yeah.
Florida, Kentucky might be their best game. Kentucky or Florida are going to be their
I think
best
for Notre Dame, Texas A&M is going to be their best game. I mean,
yeah.
I think USC has a problem with regressing through the season instead of getting better.
I agree.
Jimmy says just beat Tebow there, coach. Make sure you do that.
Hell yeah, that's the plan, baby.
Let me see if I can find Florida's schedule before I jump off here. I gotta go to work. Arkansas sucks. They should fix that. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Hey, listen, man. But
I agree.
If Bobby Petrino ends up with that damn job, people are gonna have to stop talking too much shit because you remember.
Yeah, they are.
Last time he was there,
they are.
The guy can call a game.
And you know what, man? I think that just his mind for the game, it'll be a good fit for Sam Pittman due to the fact that Sam Pittman is a recruiter. Bobby Petrino isn't.
Right.
Sam Pittman doesn't have the X's and O's of college football down like Bobby Petrino is. I mean, this could either go really good or it could go really bad. Right now, anytime that I give Arkansas any type of expectations, it goes really bad. So I don't have any expectations for Arkansas this year. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if we won 0 games next year. But I also wouldn't be surprised if we win 9 just because of Bobby Petrino. And that's the truth.
You got the same schedule as Oklahoma pretty much.
Bro, but the problem that I have with Arkansas is the fact that Arkansas is not devoid of talent. We have talent.
That's true.
The issue is that we don't have adequate coaching and development. We don't have a coach that can make in-game
decisions.
Who's going to
play quarterback? Is it that kid from Boise State?
Yeah, we got.
I actually like him. I
Taylor
like him. He can throw the ball.
I like him too, and he's elusive. I like him. I like him because he's tall. Truth be told, man, he reminds me a lot of. He's not as fast as Jaden Daniels, but just his build, because he's tall and lanky. He reminds me of Jaden Daniels in that sense, but he's not as good as Jaden Daniels, or as fast.
Orca, who you talking about? Yeah. Did you say 9 wins a second ago?
Who are you talking Arkansas?
Yeah. You said.
Well, I mean, I said that I wouldn't. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas loses 0 games, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we win 9, and that's just off the strength of Bobby Petrino and what he could possibly do with the offense. Because one thing we did find out we had last year was tight ends. Luke Haas is a beast. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the issue is that we don't know what we're going to have at quarterback. Arkansas is a complete unknown at quarterback. We've had KJ Jefferson at QB for the past 10 years, it feels like. You know what I'm saying?
I know you don't like KJ, but I liked him. But
I like KJ too, but he just does not know how to read defense. We need a quarterback that can do both. You can be mobile, but you have to be able to read a defense from right to left or left to right. Whichever you prefer.
That guy.
But who I like is Malachi Singleton. Malachi Singleton is a redshirt freshman who is a animal on the offensive side of the ball. He's a redshirt freshman QB. He's a dual threat. He's a shorter version and a quicker version of KJ. You know what I mean? I think that the QB battle is going to be between him and the Taylor Green kid.
Stephen G, you're just trying.
Hey, I was just typing. Stop it, Stephen G. I'm still butthurt over that.
Oh yeah, and we got Eli too, his little brother. We got Peyton and Eli bowling.
Yeah, that's all right.
As a matter of fact, we stole Luke Haas from OU, right?
Luke Haas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
Luke Haas is a monster, man. I mean,
Hey,
I'm
man,
not concerned about the offensive
there was
side
times
of the
that
ball,
I felt like Arkansas was going to be better the last couple of years. I think that they just
bro.
well, and I thought that Bryles
Everybody
was
did.
not a great. He was not a great fit there when he
Wasn't a good. He was a good play caller. He wasn't a good decision maker. As
Correct.
far as when to call it
the same thing that
end
we saw
around,
a lot of that same shit from Levy, man. A
Right.
lot of it.
right? But the difference between
brother-in-law.
the what we get with Bobby Petrino is a seasoned head coach, but also an offensive genius. The thing about Bobby Petrino is that he can make a mediocre player look elite because he knows where to scheme him or how to scheme him, just because he
Yes.
knows the X's and O's of football. You know
I
what I mean?
agree.
That's what was his name? Kendall Browse. He could not do that.
Yeah, Kendall.
You have to fit into his offense, but Bobby Petrino can make an offense fit
We're
his
gonna
players.
find out. We're gonna find out if he stays anywhere past 2. This will be his second year at TCU. He's never made it past 2 years anywhere since he left Baylor.
He was at Arkansas for 3 years, I think.
No,
Maybe
he
4.
wasn't. Chad was no. Kendall was there
Yeah,
too. I think he was there too because Chad was there before him, wasn't he?
No, we had Felipe Franks.
Oh yeah, Felipe.
Kendall
Frank.
Browse was here. Kendall Browse was here.
Too though.
Barry Odom and Kendall Browse came at the same time.
Barry Odom.
Yeah.
Barry's done a hell of a job at UNLV, man.
You damn right. And that's the only reason Arkansas won as many games as we did a few years ago.
Why ain't they working their ass off to bring him back? Why didn't they do that last year?
I don't know, man.
Why?
I don't know what their issue is with Barry Odom. Maybe Barry Odom didn't want the job. I feel like he would have took the job if they had offered him. I just think that they're so loyal to Sam Pittman because he's such a good guy that they don't want to just fire him and bring in one of his friends. Sam Pittman didn't know Bobby Petrino. I mean, he said in a public press conference that it was his idea to bring Bobby Petrino in, which is a damn lie. You're never going to bring in your potential predecessor unless you anticipate getting fired, and then you feel like he's going to step in and make all the fans happy in the event you leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Surprises me. Yeah, I can see him. He's a hell of a coach. He's done a good job everywhere he's been, man.
He has. Even when he was at Missouri, bro, he was doing a great job.
He was.
So I mean,
Mizzou was crazy to go drink instead.
Shit, it paid off. It paid off. It's paying off right now. I don't know what it's going to look like long term.
You watch and see, they're going to fall on their face. Even though they got an easy schedule, they're going to fall on their face.
Even Shawty knows. Even Shawty knows the difference between Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino is that Bobby Petrino is cutthroat. He doesn't give a damn about your feelings at all.
There you go. That's it.
You know what I mean?
I think he's the right guy.
If Sam Pittman allows Bobby Petrino to be Bobby Petrino, we'll have a successful team.
That's what you need to be to win at Arkansas, is slimy as the day is long.
Yep.
Well, if they had let Petrino run the offense at A&M, dumbass would still have his job.
Could you?
He confessed that they had because what was his name? Shit, I forgot his name already. Jimbo had his hands tied. Yeah, Jimbo had his hands tied.
No doubt about it. We knew that was coming last year. We said there ain't because there was no incentive for Jimbo to give up the freaking playbook.
Jimbo too much ego, baby. Too much ego.
Yep. You guys realize we brought this up last week, but you do realize that AD is now the AD at Ohio State, right in time for them to play the NIL game.
Yep, he's a great fundraiser. Obviously.
Yep. But I don't think that Ryan Day has much leash. He better win the shit this year. He better get deep in it.
We'll see.
But I have to tell you though, guys, I look at all the teams right now, and to me, looking at talent and looking everything that's out there, he ought to be number 1 or number 2 at the end of the year.
What are you talking about?
Ohio State.
Oh yeah. God. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no two ways around it. Now I don't buy that the quarterback is freaking. I don't think it's
I agree.
they're going to have to get a freshman to play well there, I think. But they got two badass freshmen. So, they've got the opportunity. So,
they've got a great opportunity in front of them.
SI is describing NCAA. The Tennessee is under NCAA investigation for alleged NIL violations in multiple sports. A school source has confirmed. Sports Illustrated first reported the news about the investigation for what SI described as major violations. Tennessee has not yet received a notice of allegations, but Tennessee feels confident that UT has followed the NCAA's guidelines related to NIL. Here's the thing. I think about major violations in the NCAA. I don't think the NCAA has any damn teeth. I don't see it. They continue to try to freaking Florida's in trouble. Florida State's in trouble. They're all in trouble for it. But what are they going to do? Until I see them do something, I don't buy it. Tennessee chancellor criticized what she called 2.5 years of vague and contradictory NCAA memos, emails, and guidance about NIL, and said the organization is failing. She said the NCAA is just what I said. Allegations are factually untrue and procedurally flawed. A group from the University of Tennessee met with members of the NCAA's enforcement staff Monday, and according to the letter, student athletes, prospective student athletes, parents, coaches, NCAA member institutions, collectives, and anyone working in college athletics today need to have clear rules to follow. As you acknowledged in the recent congressional hearing, NIL guidance from the NCAA to student athletes and institutions has been inconsistent and unclear, no doubt. And the ambiguity has filled schools, athletes, and collectives with uncertainty about how to follow the rules because there's not.
But you know what, Jason? You know what, man? I read when NIL started, bro, it was written in bold black and white letters that collectives are not legal as far as NIL is concerned. It says that no collectives are allowed, but I don't know how it happened, but they're allowing collectives openly, open collectives. Like if I could go back and read
they are putting it on collectives because nobody wants the actual schools to be in charge of this because then they have to make these kids employees and they don't want to do that. They do not want to do that.
Do any of y'all smoke cigars, man?
I do.
Yep.
Yeah. Love a cigar.
Man, I got a variety pack right here, a sampler pack. I gotta smoke all. I gotta smoke all of them, and then I bought a new
there you go
portable humidor. I bought a portable humidor.
Very nice. Look at that,
that's my man. I like it,
folks. If you have not already hit that like button, what the hell are we doing? First and foremost, we have Well, that can't be right. Let's see what we got. 22 likes. We've had, I don't know. Let me see where we are. Yeah, I like
this conversation is much more than worthy of 22 likes, man.
It sure is. Yeah, that's what it is. Come on, fellas.
Come on, guys.
Help us out here a little bit. Come on now.
Step up your game.
Okay, whose job is under more pressure in year 3? They've got Notre Dame in the poll. We're going to end the poll there. But we've had 200 viewers in here, and there's only 22 of you folks that like it.
200 viewers and 22 likes.
We've had 200 viewers in here and 22 likes. Man, come on now.
That is highly disrespectful, man. That is highly disrespectful.
You guys, all you got, nobody's out. It's the freest thing that there is here.
Right.
You could join.
Push the damn dislike button.
Right. Just interact.
Please do.
Yeah. At least do the dislike.
That is so disrespectful, man, to come in somebody's house and not even speak. That's just like walking into somebody's house, sitting down on the couch, going to the refrigerator, making a sandwich, and then coming back, sitting back down and turning on the TV and don't even say hello. That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
You beat K-State by 20. That's good. That's good. There you go. Wipe them feet. All right. Hey, folks. Yeah, listen, real quick. Also, if you are a coffee drinker, make sure you get over to Devil Dogs Brew and Beans. Listen, this is a veteran-owned company serving veterans, premium coffee, served fresh to your door, man. The day that they get your order, they roast, grind, and ship it back to you to ensure premium freshness. Unbelievable coffee, man. Unbelievable coffee. The best thing about it, 5% of all sales goes to the Wounded Warrior program. This is why I'm a part of this. You know, being a veteran myself, it's very important for me on that. Look, you can get 10% off your first order just by using promo code Boomer. It's worth it, man. I mean, we've even got our we've got our own mug in there for Devil Dogs. You know, it's that's for when you wake up in the morning, 6 a.m. Texas still sucks. Here we go.
Texas always sucks.
Texas always sucks, no matter what time of day it is, but there it is. So make sure you guys jump in there, check them out. Look, it's a great way to help the program. It's a great way to help veterans. Look, again, veteran owned, serving veterans. We love being partners with Devil Dog. You can also we got brand new podcast merch. There's some Texas Sucks stuff in there. There's some Horns Down stuff in there. There's some Coach.
I don't give a shit.
We've got some new merch in the podcast merch store, hofmedia.us/pod-merch. Jump in there, check it out. You'll love it. Become a member of the Hall of Fame Mafia. Membership has its perks. You can do it for as low as $2.99 a month. Jump into the Discord with us. There's a lot more than just football being talked about in there, but it is fun. So make sure you jump in there, do that for us. But hey, the easy way, like I just said, the free way, just hit the freaking like button. It helps us more than you know. We're putting out more and more content all the time. We really, really hope that we can get everybody to jump in there, hit that like button, you know, and share us with your friends, man. We hit 3,000. We kind of sputtered since we got to that 3,000. Help us out. We want to share us with all your friends. What does JJ always say? Don't be a hoe. Share the show. JJ,
I like that.
I like it too. But yeah, who plays for the SEC championship next year?
That's a good question.
Listen, that's going to be a tough one. But I'll tell you this: if Texas doesn't figure out a way to get in that SEC championship game with that,
I think it's Texas and Georgia.
If Texas doesn't find a way to get in, I think Sark's ass may be in trouble.
Yeah, I think it's Texas and Georgia. It's either and if Texas doesn't make it, I'm calling Ole Miss. I'll say that Texas and Ole Miss are interchangeable.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is really good too. Look, again, if Oklahoma could get to 10-2, then they got a chance. Then they could be in it too. But I think it's. I mean, look, 9-3. I don't think you get in at 9-3. I don't think you do.
No. You have to damn near go undefeated in your SEC slate to be even considered. Yeah.
Well, I think that you probably added another loss with 2 more teams coming in, though. I mean, you know, we're going to see. I mean, I think that, but it's really what you've never had anybody with more than 2 losses, right? Play for it, right?
No, I don't think so.
Game? I don't think you have.
No, not more than 2 losses is the max that I've ever seen.
Maybe Mizzou when they got in it those couple of times.
Maybe
better than 9-3. I don't think. I don't buy it.
No. If you're 9-3, you're not going to an SEC championship game.
Mizzou,
because the SEC champion always goes to the national championship game, and you're damn sure not going to a national championship game with 3 losses. So, no.
Well, things are changing. That's the one thing that we know is that we don't know shit about what it's going to look like at the end of the year.
We don't, and that's the beauty of it. I love it.
12-team playoff, things have changed, man.
I love it. I'm ready to see some extra football.
Yeah,
they need to go ahead and open it up, man, and go ahead and make that group of 5 championship series, man. And I'm all in.
I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah,
guys, we appreciate everybody coming in, man. We've been going almost 2 hours. Time for me to get out of here.
Man.
A lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. I appreciate you coming in. We've got some more stuff we're going to be doing with SEC Moe here over the next few weeks, I think.
Absolutely, man.
Look, guys, get ready. We're going to be doing a lot of changes to the channel here over the next, leading up to the season. But, hey, let's get this done. Let's get this to, hey, what, Texas will lose 4 games? Hey, I love it.
Ooh.
I
With
hope
the
they
schedule
do.
that they have,
That would put Sark's ass in deep shit. I hope you're right.
I tell you what, the only game that'll save Sam Pittman's ass is if he beats Texas.
That'd be pretty cool. You guys
The
beat
last
them.
time we played
You
them.
guys beat
That's what
them
I
the
was
last
about
time
to
you
say.
played them, right?
That's what I was about to say. The last time we played them, we stomped them.
Throw them horns down just one time. Let's go.
Where's my camera?
It's an old Southwest Conference deal, right? You guys
Yep.
whip their ass all the time.
Absolutely. That's one of our rivals. Like
Hey,
Texas is a legitimate rival of Arkansas.
Hey, we don't want to hurt their feelings, guys, with the horns down.
Oh, yes, we do. They can cry about it all. I get.
Hey,
oh shit!
I'm on. Since they don't like this, I'll do this.
You know the crazy. That's the thing I was saying. The shocker.
They're gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have a hard time in the SEC, brother. If that's what
guys,
grinds their gears.
I don't know if I'll really do it on this channel. We'll definitely talk about it. Hey, the softball team's going for 4-peat in national championships.
Oh,
that would piss the whole world off if they did it. I hope like
what's softball? What's softball?
Yeah, you know what it is. OU is softball, bro. That's just OU. No, man, they're going to be fun. They're going to be. They got a fun team. Even once Jocelyn, I don't know if they were going to be able to do it. They were probably better last year once she left. And I not to badmouth. Let's not say anything bad about Jocelyn Allo. She's a badass, but they were really good last year.
Hey, Jason,
stole a picture from Okie Light. Stole a picture from Okie Light. Got him all,
Jason.
Man.
Jason, I'm just teasing. I do like to watch. I do like to watch OU softball and some of those other good teams around the country.
You know, the Big 12 softball is good, man. It really is. Even Baylor's good.
I agree.
Hey, I do have to give a shout out to our Notre Dame women's basketball team for upsetting UConn at home.
Ooh. That's a huge accomplishment.
I think it was 82-65. Our little freshman guard scored 32 points.
Yeah, I know we lost Jordy Orca, but I think they're gonna be okay.
How many likes you up to now, Jason?
How many likes?
23.
Looks like,
oh wow,
ain't much, man. It ain't
man,
much.
They are disrespectful in here, man.
30 likes. We got 30 likes. We got 30 likes. We got 30 people, 34 in here. So at least pretty much everybody in here. Has it. Yeah. So thank you guys for doing that. We appreciate everybody coming in. And guys, again, make sure you get in there. Check out SEC Moe's channel. He's going to start cranking it up, but he's going to start doing a lot of work. We're going to be doing some SEC stuff. We may be starting a new channel on that. We're going to have to kind of see how that's going to work, but definitely want to be doing some new stuff and looking forward to that as well. So Coach I probably be involved in it as well. We've been looking for sharpshooter to get him involved as well as also. And hey, make sure you get over there and check out Brinsky on the Sharpshooter podcast. They recorded tonight, so they will be on there tomorrow. And hey, just my damn opinion will be live tomorrow night. That is, I believe it's at 9:30 Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure you jump on there and do that as well. Jump in there, check out all these guys. Tell us how to find you on Twitter as well, Mo.
At real SEC Moe. So it's REALSECMOE. That's on YouTube as well. Y'all go ahead and go to my new YouTube page at real SEC Moe and get me up to 100 get me up to 100 subscribers, guys. And stay tuned because like Jason said, man, we got a lot of stuff coming on that channel as well. Now my Hog Wild podcast channel is strictly Arkansas stuff. So if you don't want to hear me talk about Arkansas, don't go to that channel. Otherwise, if you want to hear me talk about the SEC, go to at real SEC Moe. on all social media
Awesome.
platforms.
We'll definitely be talking softball as well, though. Stevie G, thank you very much for that. But hey, make sure you get on here tomorrow because we're gonna have I think you're gonna like this video that I'm putting out. So make sure you guys check all that out as well. And hey, once again, thank you guys so much. We appreciate everybody in here. We do have the best guests. Give some love to SEC Moe as well. But hey, Coach, good seeing again. And we will see everybody on the next one. Make sure you hit that like button, wipe them feet.
Have a good night, fellas.
Good seeing everybody. Y'all have a good one. Smoke a cigar for me, Mo.
I got you, Coach. I got you. I'm smoking a Joe Burrow tonight.
Yeah, all right, baby.
We're going to go out to the Devil Dogs commercial, so y'all check it out. Up at it again. 6 a.m. Texas still sucks, and I need coffee. That's right, coffee. Devil Dogs coffee. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. There is only one coffee with aroma that gets you going like that. Devil Dogs. Bold brews, unwavering spirit. It's Devil Dogs. Hey, folks, I'm Jason Watkins, the host of Hall of Fame College Football, and the coach and I could not be prouder than to be able to announce our partnership with Devil Dogs Brew and Beans, a veteran-owned premium coffee brand that is dedicated to providing coffee and tea that embodies the spirit, dedication, and fearlessness of our American military men and women. Devil Dogs premium coffee, beans, and teas are sourced from all over the world, each chosen for their rich, distinct, and unique flavor that is sure to rouse your senses and make you look forward to waking up to that first cup every day. Experience each blend or tea leaf at its best as Devil Dogs roasts, grinds, and ships your coffee directly to your door the same day your order is received, ensuring maximum freshness direct to your doorstep. Use our link every time and get free shipping anywhere in the continental United States. But on this first order, just make sure that you use promo code BOOMER and you'll get 10% off it of your purchase. So get in there, check out our new mugs that are with our Hall of Fame and the Devil Dog logo, not to mention a nice little message that'll perk up all you Sooner fans each morning. But you know what I like best about this? I'll tell you what, 5% of each sale at Devil Dogs is donated to the Wounded Warrior Project. That's right, the Wounded Warrior Project. That's why I wanted to partner with these guys. It's veteran-owned and serving veterans. Make sure that you log on to the website that you see there at the bottom right of your screen, hofmedia.us/coffee. Look, if you use the promo code BOOMER on your first purchase, you get 10% off everything that you buy. Guys, this is a win-win for everybody. Help us out, help us help them out, and support the show that you love all in one deal. Plus, you get amazing freaking coffee at that.